Welcome to this explainer. When we hit the movie theaters, we are absolutely obsessed with the whole superhero thing, right? We just love the idea of ordinary folks getting impossible abilities. Invisibility, impenetrable armor, shape-shifting, toxic venom, the whole shebang. But here's the genuinely fascinating truth. You literally don't need a comic book to find creatures with completely out-of-this-world powers. The animal kingdom is absolutely packed with creatures wielding survival skills so extraordinary, they feel like genuine superpowers. So today, we're going to break down 10 animals with natural arsenals that will absolutely blow your mind.
Now, before we introduce our roster of heroes and mutants, we got to talk about evolution. Because look, the phenomenal traits we're exploring today, they aren't magical gifts from a radioactive spider bite or some cosmic accident. No way. These adaptations are the brilliant, grueling, hard-fought results of real-world biology. We're talking millions of years of trial, error, and intense survival pressure, equipping these animals with exactly what they need to stay alive in incredibly hostile environments. Evolution is, for sure, the ultimate origin story.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're grouping our superpowered animals into 3 distinct tactical squads. First, the Masters of Deception. Second, the Intimidators and Tanks. Third, highly specialized mutants. And finally, we'll wrap up with the power of evolution.
All right, let's kick things off with our first squad. Section 1, Masters of Deception, focusing on illusions, camouflage, and mimicry.
So we've got 3 totally unique animals here that rely on entirely distinct visual tricks as their primary first-line defense. The Thorny Devil, the false coral snake, and the Indian Chameleon. Instead of just trying to outrun a threat, they literally outsmart it. The Thorny Devil uses physical illusions to confuse. The false coral snake uses mimicry to fool its enemies. And the Indian Chameleon, well, it uses a sort of visual shape-shifting to blend in and communicate. Let's zoom in and see how these actually play out in the wild.
First up is the totally bizarre and remarkable Thorny Devil. Now, it does use a brilliant physical illusion, literally sporting a fake head on the back of its neck to confuse predators and protect its actual head. Pretty smart, right? But its real superpower is mechanical. Imagine living in a scorching desert where water is practically non-existent. How do you survive? Well, step 1, it collects whatever tiny bit of dew or moisture it can directly on its skin. Step 2, these microscopic channels funnel that water across its entire body. And step 3, those channels direct the water straight to its mouth. It literally drinks through its feet. I mean, that is just a spectacular piece of biological engineering.
Now here is an absolute masterclass in survival by plagiarism. The false coral snake is, for the most part, completely harmless, but it has evolved to perfectly mimic the incredibly bright, unmistakable warning colors of the real coral snake. And let me tell you, the real coral snake is highly venomous and incredibly deadly. By simply pretending to be deadly, putting on the costume of a killer, basically cosplaying as a threat, the false coral snake completely fools predators into just avoiding it altogether. It's a masterful evolutionary hack. It gets all the protection of deadly venom without having to waste the biological energy to actually produce it. Genius.
Rounding out our Masters of Deception is the Indian Chameleon, famous of course for its rapid color-changing ability. But listen, this isn't just some simple party trick for hiding in the leaves. Sure, it uses it for blending in as camouflage to evade predators and ambush its prey, but it's also a highly advanced communication system used to signal rivals or show dominance. And even more incredibly, this power serves a vital physical function: temperature regulation. A darker color absorbs more heat from the sun when they're cold, while lighter colors reflect the sun when they're getting too hot. It is quite literally a multi-tool superpower built right into their skin.
Okay, moving right along, that brings us to our heavy hitters. Section 2, the Intimidators and Tanks. We're talking armor, venom, and pure intimidation.
Picture this for a second. A predator spots what looks like a super easy meal, just a relatively small, unassuming lizard. But the exact moment it gets a little too close, the Frilled Lizard deploys its superpower. It suddenly unfolds this massive umbrella-like frill all the way around its neck, stands completely upright on its hind legs, opens its mouth wide, and actually charges directly at the thread. It goes from a tiny reptile to an incredibly frightening display of pure shock and awe in a split second. It's totally designed to startle a predator just long enough for the lizard to make a quick escape.
Our next tank uses a similar strategy of sudden expansion, but it takes it to a totally extreme physical level, literally multiplying its size by 2. When the porcupine fish is threatened, it doesn't just swim away. Nope, it swallows water or air to rapidly inflate its body to nearly twice its normal size. I mean, just imagine trying to eat something that suddenly balloons to double its size right in front of your face. But wait, it gets better.
This massive expansion causes hundreds of sharp spines covering its body to stand straight up, so it instantly transforms from a normal-looking fish into a giant, spiky, completely impossible meal for almost any predator out there.
Just look at the sheer diversity of this heavy weaponry across totally different environments. Take pangolins. They're protected head to toe by these incredibly tough, armor-like scales, and when they feel threatened, they just curl up into an almost impenetrable ball, leaving predators with absolutely nothing to sink their teeth into. Then you've got the crested porcupine, which raises a terrifying mohawk of sharp quills to appear massive, and it actually rattles these specialized hollow ones to create a super menacing warning sound. And finally, the red lionfish. It looks like it's just gliding beautifully through the ocean, but it's actually wielding highly venomous spines. It acts as this incredibly powerful defensive weapon that makes any attacker immediately regret getting too close. These guys are basically nature's ultimate defensive fortresses.
All right, now we're entering the territory of the truly strange. Section 3, Highly Specialized Mutants, featuring bizarre bodies built for highly singular tasks.
Just take the turtle frog, for instance. When you imagine a typical frog, you picture long legs built for leaping, right? Well, this frog traded jumping for digging. It has evolved a body perfectly suited for digging forward through sand and breaking straight into termite mounds for food. I mean, it looks completely absurd, kind of like a tiny, muscular blob. It's not meant for jumping at all. Its entire anatomical structure has been fundamentally re-engineered by evolution to turn it into a living, breathing, sand-tunneling drill. It literally gave up the classic leap for the superpower of digging right into an all-you-can-eat termite buffet.
And speaking of completely bizarre anatomy, let's talk about Stalk-Eyed Signal Flies. These insects actually possess eyes situated at the very ends of incredibly long, rigid stalks, extending way out from the sides of their heads. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would evolution do this? Well, pushing their eyes out this far gives them a massively expanded field of vision, helping them spot danger from practically any angle. But it also gives them an incredible edge in the dating game. Males use these long eye stalks to size up and compete with rivals. And females, well, they're actively attracted to the males with the widest eye spans. It's a really weird, highly specialized mutation, but it perfectly guarantees the survival and continuation of their species.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. Section 4, The Power of Evolution. Not magic, just millions of years of survival.
So, the crucial point is, when we look at all these incredible creatures, from a lizard that literally drinks water through tiny channels in its feet, to a fish that inflates into a spiky balloon, to a completely harmless snake masquerading as a deadly killer, it is so easy to see them as comic book characters. Their survival skills are so extraordinary that they honestly just seem impossible. But remember, they aren't magic. They are living, breathing testaments to the sheer, unstoppable power of evolution. Every single scale, every spine, every color change, it's a perfectly crafted solution to the ultimate puzzle, surviving just one more day in the wild.
And that leaves us with a truly fascinating question to end on. What impossible superpowers is nature evolving right now? As environments change and survival pressures shift in our modern world, the next generation of animal superheroes is out there right now, slowly developing adaptations that we probably can't even begin to imagine yet. The animal kingdom is like a dynamic, ever-changing comic book, and the story of evolution is still actively being written. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes open. You never know what superpower you might spot in your own backyard.